It's the Timberwolves in Minnesota. Minnesota for a little interconference action here at the Target Center. The NBA on 2K Sports. Thanks for joining us this Sunday afternoon. Hi, everyone. This is Kevin Harlan, and joining us tonight, Greg Anthony and Hall of Famer Doris Burke. And reporting from the sidelines, our very own David Aldridge. Now here's Simmons. Outside Irving. And the call is going to be, yes, it is, an illegal screen. And what a matchup we have here in the front court, Greg.
Yeah, each of these teams are anchored by their big men. I think it's going to be physical and highly intensified.
Here's Dumars. Tatum looking around. Pass to Okongwu. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Shot clock at 5. Fires from the wing. Kyrie Irving grabs the miss. And here is Butler. He averages a bit over 6 points a game. Here's Irving. And good, as it just snugs right down through the net.
That is Kyrie Irving in a nutshell. You want to give him the mid-range, he'll take it. The consummate three-level scorer.
Okongwu a screen. Tatum gets the bucket.
And the lack of effort to fight over the screen there makes that an easy shot.
You know, we see this all the time. You're basically, as a defender, hoping the man misses rather than putting in the work to get over screens.
It's time now to hear from our Hall of Fame reporter, David Aldridge. What's the latest, David?
I had a chance to catch up with Chris Finch. Now, Coach immediately recognized the many talents of Kyrie Irving. One thing he pointed out was not losing Irving on defense. Coach said Irving is just as dangerous without the ball. We can't let him get behind us. We have to make sure someone is on him at all times. Back to you.
Thank you, David. Pass to Caldwell Pope. Here's Irving. Outside for Caldwell Pope. Here's Duncan. Shot clock at 6. Tries again. And he sinks the layup. Duncan's got his second bucket of the night.
Always helps to get these kinds of looks, right? Super easy to convert from that distance.
Well, Greg, it took 40 years, but the Bucks finally won their second NBA title back in 2021.
Yeah, Kareem leading that 71 squad. Giannis was the man in 2021, averaging 35 and 13 during the finals, closing out the Suns with that 50-piece in Game 6.
When it comes to players who like having fun, Jimmy Butler has to be way up there.
Kevin, did you see his media picture for the 23-24 season? He looked like he belonged in an emo band with that hairstyle. Jimmy is definitely one of those guys that likes to troll and have fun.
Wow, here's Brown. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. Pass to Okongwu. Now Brown. Up top, Okongwu. And the basket by Jones.
And good to get him going early. That shot should give him some confidence.
It's all about mindset out of the gate. If you're aggressive and they give you room, go ahead, let it fly. Great contest by the defender, but that's a dunk you've got to put down in his face.
That one falls.
Boy, you can see Tatum continues to grow his game with a play like that. That is nicely done.
Butler with the ball. Jones covering. The kick out to Irving. Lets the three fly. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. To the inside. Dumars. Nice pass. Right under the rack perfectly for the layup.
Well, Jason Tatum has proven he can score at the NBA level, but you want to see him share the basketball pretty fast.
Pass to Irving. Caldwell Pope for three. Here's Duncan to halt the run, and that's 2 points on the layup. Duncan's got 6.
He is now 3 for 4 to start this game. Clearly, the confidence is already building.
And Okongwu has it in the corner. And the three off target. Bucks trailed by 3. There's a good screen. Here's Irving. It's hauled in by Brown.
I think he's got to settle down because right now it feels like he's rushing, like he's forcing some shots. This quarter he has been completely bothered.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
This is his first free throw of the game.
This season, 88% on the line, so he has been in a comfort zone.
What impresses me about Jason Tatum are his work habits, his commitment in the offseason to adding something else to his arsenal. We know he can play high-level basketball on both ends. The sky is the limit.
You know what? Tried to step in and cut him off, but just didn't get there quick enough.
And we've got a timeout called from Chris Finch. Wants to regroup and go over the strategy.
All right, Golden Timberwolves, make some noise.
Young looking around. And it's swinging with the jam.
Clearly, he's one of the best there is in the business when it comes to making that lead pass.
And out of bounds as the Bucks gain possession. Stolen by Walker. At the end of one, a closely contested game so far. Timberwolves lead by 2. We've got
the Bucks 12.
And close game underway so far. We'll see if either of these teams can jump out in the second quarter. And guys, what's your take so far on the Timberwolves?
They just came into this game with the mindset of sharing the basketball.
When you keep everyone involved at the offensive end, it keeps everyone engaged in other areas as well.
Timberwolves passing it around. Back to Powell. Clock at 6. High post, Zubas. Fires for 3. Tim Duncan grabs the miss. The Bucks trail. You know, Greg, when you look at the Timberwolves' history, the first round had been a problem for them. But not last year, as they swept the Phoenix Suns.
And you got to look at it as being a tremendous success, right? Because going into the season, I don't know that anyone thought they would have made it to the conference finals. But, boy, that young group gelled well together, and the sky's the limit for the future.
Okongwu a screen. Tatum with it. Now guarded by Caldwell Pope. Brown's shot is good.
You can see the work Jaylen Brown has put in to become a range shooter. Nice.
Let's check in with our reporter, David Aldridge.
Kevin, thanks. Jaylen Brown has put it all together. He said, I'm figuring out my spots to be aggressive. That's in my DNA. But also showing how I've grown. Being a great screener, delivering passes on time and on target. That's important to being a great teammate. I'm focused on being a better basketball player. Kevin?
Yeah, and he's a smart one too, right, David? He is something else. Outstanding stuff, DA, as always. Knocks it loose. Stolen by Dumars. Outside, Jones. Emphatic by Tatum.
I love that Jason Tatum not settling for a jumper. He goes to the rim with authority.
Second quarter of play with around 2 minutes gone so far. And taken away by Brown. And the dunk by Brown. Now it's a 5-point Minnesota lead.
That's the two-way play of Jaylen Brown. Elite defensively, create the turnover, and then no one catches him in transition.
And we've got a timeout called by Doc Rivers. He wants to check in with his team and regroup. Bucks trail by 5. And Greg, we were talking Jaylen Brown making the 2023 All-NBA second team. That was big for him, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kevin, it made Jaylen eligible for the Supermax, signing for that 5-year extension in July of 23. At the time, the largest contract in NBA history.
You love to see Zubac get after it on the window. Use that size and strength.
Outside Irving. Fires the three. And it's good, assisting on the play with Simmons. Irving's got 7 points.
You know, he's had better starts, obviously, but he's shaking it off here in the second.
Up top, Brown. 7 points in the game. Zubac. Kyrie Irving grabs the miss.
And gotta like what they've been doing down low in the post.
Back to Duncan. And he uses the glass on the layup. And now just a 2-point Timberwolves lead.
And Caldwell Pope has improved as a passer. Nice to see that development in his game.
And that one is good from Zubac.
Well, 9 times out of 10, that probably is a miss, but somehow he finds a way.
Simmons on the wing. Scoreless thus far. Irving with a clean look. And again, it's Milwaukee converting.
He's been a marksman this period. Their shot mechanics finally in sync.
Here's Zubac. Driving in. And the dunk by Zubac.
That's a 7-footer on the run with a full head of steam. Go ahead, Mr. Zubac.
And Doc Rivers has called a timeout. He's ready to talk things through with the team. Bucks trailed by 4. Greg, this is some kind of note. Last year, Minnesota, for just the second time, had ever won a series in the postseason.
Yeah, they've been bounced in the first round, 10 of 12 appearances. But last year's team was different. Their elite defense fueled the conference finals run.
And, guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with their work down low.
Nice move. Achua, no good.
Boy, this guy is a good finisher, so he misses a chippy. That's tough to take.
.44 seconds left in the first half. Here's the screen. Here's Tatum. Oh, Tatum finds a way.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And stolen by Tatum. That one is good. He's only missed 1 shot of his 6 taken on the floor.
Those defenders just look a little bit gassed. I mean, they're getting pushed around on that low block.
There's 21 seconds left here in the second. And it's Simons off the drive. Here's Klingon.
A powerhouse slam. Klingon gave it everything on that one.
Here's Tatum. 11 points in the game. Just 3 on the clock. No good on that one. And a close game so far through the first 2 quarters as we reach halftime. Timberwolves ahead. They're up by 4. And we'll get it going after this from the Target Center. And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. Boy, Greg, it seems like the big men have returned. And Donovan Clingan is one of them.
Yes, he is. 7'2" with a wingspan to match. The capability to dominate the paint. And his impact is felt at both ends of the court.
Stolen by Jones. And now it's Brown running. He can go all the way and finished off by Brown.
I tell you, when Brown is running like that, it's hard to stop him. This guy is superb at beating defenders up the floor.
Pass to Simmons, and Simmons slams it in.
Just the kind of play they need in a game this close.
You know, that's the kind of aggression they want from their floor leader.
Boy, and not just the aggression, the ability to get to the rim, but how about the finish with intention? Oh.
I wonder what the score would be if they weren't controlling the backboard.
Timberwolves leading by 4. Outside, Jones. Outside, Tatum. The kick out to Brown. 6 on the shot clock. A wide open look here for Okongwu. From outside, off the mark. Outside, Irving. A 3-ball. Good, and Butler gets the assist. Irving's got 12.
What a masterful performance from Kyrie Irving. He's over a decade into his career. He can still take over a game.
Screen by Jones. The kick out to Dumas. Back to Brown. To the paint. He's working for Okongwu and finds him. Stolen by Caldwell Pope. For years, it seemed like the league was going to go smaller. But lately, Greg, it seems like size is back in fashion.
Yeah, I mean, look at the MVP award, right? Centers and Jokic and Embiid winning it recently. Even Giannis, you know, I wouldn't consider him small. And just overall around the NBA, it feels like bigger teams are having more success.
And the shot goes in. Simmons got his second bucket of the night.
We know the interior is Ben Simmons' comfort zone. He can get his shots at this range.
A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter. The Bucks trail. Irving up top. Stolen by Jones. Here we go, one-on-one. Here's Okongwu. And Okongwu slams it in.
And this is outstanding vision by Jaylen Brown. This guy dishing the ball beautifully to his teammates.
And Greg, 2 seasons ago, the Bucks ranked first in defensive rating. Last season, they dropped down to number 19.
Yeah, shifting defensive schemes, coaching changes, also swapping Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard. But they can and should be better than 19.
Minnesota leading by 3. Okongwu with it. He's picked up by Irving.
Great teamwork, punctuated by a strong finish.
Going right to the rim, which is where you want transition opportunities to end.
Pass to Duncan. Simmons with it. And Simmons slams it in.
This close to the rim, Ben Simmons just leaves no doubt.
And here's Tatum. He'll bring it up for Minnesota. The Oklahoma City Thunder will be in town for the next one. And that game is the second of 2 straight at home. And here is Okongwu. Tim Duncan with the rebound.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
Outside Irving. Good, and Butler gets the assist. 14 points for Kyrie Irving.
Boy, what a monster night for Kyrie Irving, playing at a very high level right now.
And the foul is called. He intentionally grabbed him there for some reason, I don't know.
Kevin, all I can think of is that he's trying to slow the game down a little bit.
Right.
That's a stretch, though. Definitely a strange move on his part.
And Doc Rivers has called a timeout. He wants to talk to his guy. And so Chris Finch calls for the timeout. He wants a minute here to get things straightened out with his team.
Make some noise.
32 seconds left in the third. Powell, that's good.
Wow, with contact in the restricted area, Norman Powell, pretty play.
Bucks trailed by 3. And Simons, here we go. The game now all time.
Pick works well there. Not much resistance from the D.
It takes incredible effort to stay connected to the hip of the offensive player. You've got to want to work.
And we've got a timeout called from Chris Finch. This will give him a chance to discuss some potential alterations. We've got 13 seconds left to play in the third. To the middle. Out left to the wing. Here's Dumars. And the layup's good off the glass. Dumars got 6.
Such a multi-talented threat on the offensive end, and you love his confidence.
And we've got a timeout called by Doc Rivers. He's going to have a discussion here on the sideline. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession.
That looks like a lack of focus. You've got to question what he was trying to accomplish there.
And at the close of the third quarter, still a close game, and both teams putting up points in a hurry. Timberwolves lead by 2.
The Bucks, 41.
And with 3 quarters behind us, we start the fourth quarter in what is still anybody's ballgame. And we've got a timeout called from Chris Finch. He's not taking any chances and wants to huddle them up right away. With a short break in the action gives us a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge.
Hey guys, I listened in on what Chris Finch was talking about with his players. Now, they preached the little things in the huddle. They asked their team to battle on those 50-50 balls. One extra possession could be all the difference. Back to you, Kevin.
Okay, David, thanks.
And you don't want to allow too many of those short ones with the game right now in the balance.
Here's Brown. And, he just jams him right over Ben Simmons. Wow.
We've got to get this guy in the dunk contest. Jaylen Brown taking flight with that insane athleticism.
Outside for Simmons. Rebounded by the Timberwolves.
And you know they wanted that one to go down.
Let's prove it time. Fourth quarter. Don't get it done now. No more chances.
Out to the right wing. Here's Okongwu. And Okongwu slams it in.
And just an excellent setup. Joe Dumars just plays with such poise and intelligence, the quintessential combo guard.
Outside Irving. Pass to Caldwell Pope. 6 to shoot. Back to Irving. The Bucks need to get a shot off here. And yes, it's good. Simmons got 4 points this quarter.
Yeah, becoming better at setting up his teammates, and KCP delivers that pass on target.
Outside Dumars. Back to Brown. Here's Jones. The kick out to Brown. Outside Tatum. The shot's good. Brown making the play. And the Timberwolves lead by 5.
The ability for Jason Tatum to be ready on the catch. Those opportunities make the game a little bit easier.
Outside Butler. Down low. Here's Duncan. And the officials call him for a 3-second violation. Timberwolves leading by 5. Tatum on the wing. The shot from 20 feet away. The rebound by the Bucks.
And it didn't fall, but that's the kind of shot they want their offense to create.
You know, it can be frustrating when you make the right play and fail to reap the rewards. You just have to stay with it here.
And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. And stolen by Butler. And now Irving pushing it up. No one back to stop him. Finished off the break. 16 points for Kyrie Irving.
Guys, it doesn't get much bigger than that. Irving coming up huge right there with the bucket.
Outside Tatum. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Yandel Kongwu slams it in.
It's been like this all night for both teams. The offenses having their way.
And it is a major disadvantage down the stretch if you can't guard. This may just come down to who has the ball last.
Outside Dumars. Back to Brown. The kick out to Dumars. Outside Jones. Down to 5 in the shot clock. Tatum no good.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
Pass to Simmons. Out to Duncan. Back to Simmons. The rebound by Jason Tatum. And here's Tatum. He'll bring it up for Minnesota. Giving up just 8 points in the fourth quarter. And the Bucks making a change here. 1:04 left in the fourth quarter. Pass to Brown. Shot clock at 6. He drops the first one, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. And so he drops them both. It's a 5-point game.
Yeah, the crucial part of those free throws is that it now makes it a 2-possession game.
And Doc Rivers has called a timeout. He has decided it's the right time to talk. And we've got a timeout called by Doc Rivers. Clearly, he's got something his players need to hear, and immediately. Milwaukee making a switch. 46 seconds left in the fourth. Outside Irving. And so they choose to intentionally foul.
Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. You know, maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
Here's Simons. And that one goes out of bounds. Last touch by Brown. 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And they double up Butler. And taken away by Brown. Here's Tatum. And slam dunk by Tatum.
Jason Tatum is a thirsty scorer right now, filling it up.
Three-pointer, Simons. Okongwu grabs the board. And so the Timberwolves take the win. It was up for grabs right until the final seconds.
Yeah, and for me, Kevin, what stood out is just the overall trust this group has in one another when it matters most. Doing what had to be done and to send these fans home happy.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for now.
Do what I should, like. Point, baby. Do what I could, like. Point, baby. Do what I should, like. Point, baby. Do what I could.